Hello, this is Angband compiled for Windows. This is a version that I compiled from the Angband 4.2.5 source code and files with my favorite customizations. So I've called this sort of collection of my preferences Ascband. It used to be part of a longer name, but I guess the ASCII at the beginning, Ascband, stands for ASCII, which is redundant when you're talking about Angband, which is an old roguelike that is in, characters. But anyway, I have put this on archive.org that you can download and play this particular collection of front end and weird fonts and stuff. That's at archive.org/details/Ascband. That's archive.org/details/ASCBAND. The source code, my modified source files, are also there, along with instructions for compiling them in Windows using MSys2, which is free, and just more notes on the changes made. I basically put this together now because I haven't messed with some of these modifications in a while, and I figured if I didn't document them now, I was going to forget what the heck they were and how they worked. So anyway, here we are. Let's go and start a new character. Now this is not the latest Angband code that you can get from GitHub, which is linked through the Angband website at refile.org. You can see that there on this splash page as well. It's repial.org. Trivia file.org, phial.org, is still up, and that's the home page of, oh shoot, I forget who, one of the Angband creators or original, maybe not a creator, but an early maintainer who did a lot of work on the game. I think that's right. Anyway, now I gotta look this up because that's embarrassing that I've forgotten. Google is not helping me. The site that's there now is kind of just an empty front page, but at one point, not too long ago, I was poking around on it and I found a version of Angband that was not stored, that was not archived on the current Angband site, which was interesting. Okay, I gotta look at my notes because I did write it down there. I think this is good watching, I'm sure. And I posted about what I found on the Angband forum, but nobody seemed particularly interested. Shoot. I must have made a note of this somewhere, but on my site, but I am not finding it. Oh wait, was it Ben Harrison? Why didn't I put a URL to Harrison's site in my notes where I was talking about? Oh yeah, it is Ben Harrison. There's the URL. Although I put a www on it, which is why I was missing that. I wonder if that's still there then. Doesn't look like it. It looks like what I had managed to find before has been completely taken down. and it's just an empty front page now. At least before I somehow got to poke through it. Yeah, that's Ben Harrison, who was an early maintainer. And in fact, file.com? Oh, wait a second. No, file. Oh, maybe he just moved the site to file.com. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it used to be .org. It used to be file.org, which is why the current Angband site probably is also .org. But it looks like Harrison, who Wikipedia, it appears, is calling co-developer, he was maintainer on file.com. It says he was maintainer of Angband until 2000. The author of Angband version 2.7 through 2.8.5. And the designer of the Angband board. There's a lot of work going on in current Angband post version 4.2.5, which is what my collection here is based on. So the newest Angband stuff, there's a lot of work being done on the board, which is basically an AI that plays Angband for you. I think I've never tried to run it. I don't know, but that's ongoing currently. There haven't, aside from the Borg stuff though, there haven't been a whole lot of other changes that seemed like stuff that would matter to me particularly. So that's why I went back to I went back to 4.2.5 because the SDL2 front end, which is what I'm using here, this kind of slick black and white style interface, has been redone since 4.2.5. And it's well, I was driving myself crazy finding bugs in it, and it's not super fair because some of them are for new functionality that it's added or trying to support. But yeah, I was kind of tying myself in knots, running into bugs with it and trying to report them and test changes, and it was taking too long. Also, I kind of just liked the original UI here that I saw. The new UI isn't quite as sleek. I think it's pretty much the same, but it's just slightly styled, slightly different. So I want to see if that angders directory is still here on the .com. Doesn't look like it. Oh wait. Oh, it is. Wow. Yeah. So if you go to www.file.com/angdirs/ you'll get a directory index. If you go into the old-tree directory, under there is a Angband 283 DOS directory, which I think is not. If I go to refile.org, go to releases, more, 2.8.3. Yeah, there's no DOS release listed on refile.org, the current Angband site for 2.8.3, but Harrison has this unzipped DOS Angband 2.8.3 on his site with kind of some extra files thrown in. But I have run it, and it, at least when it was on file.org, it seemed to work. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I'm going to go back to the actual game I've tried to put together here, the version of Angband. So, I'll get into what my changes have wrought I did customize this title screen a little bit. For one thing, go ahead and change the font. So one of the main changes in this collection version, whatever it is you want to call it, Ascband, it's basically made for this Perfect DOS VGA 437 font, which is a font by, if I look at my own README, the font is by Ze Fernando, and in the README, if you download this thing off of archive.org, there's a README that gives you links for where you can find out about the font on Ze Fernando's site, zefernando.com. You can download it from dafont.com. That's DAFONT.com, which is a good font downloading site. I went ahead and rasterized it into a .fon instead of using the original .ttf. There was actually a limitation where the Angband code did not work if you specified a TTF font file as the default font. I think Angband programmer backwards Eric has actually corrected that now. Actually, he has. I saw that. He's corrected that now in current Angband. But I just rasterized it anyway because was there some other problem with the TTF? Yeah, there was. With the TTF, you could resize it to an arbitrary size, and that would make it come out slightly blurry, and I didn't want that. So I basically rasterized it to 16 pixel size, which is the default one here, and also 32 pixel size if you want to see it bigger, which is how I like it. You've got these size and move buttons in the upper left. This is all stuff that just came in the Angband SDL2 front end, which is, as far as I can tell, a front end that nobody is currently using except maybe me, which is too bad because it's pretty cool and slick. So yeah, now this came out slightly off center, but I think that will correct itself once we refresh the screen. What else? So this is using this ASCII DOS font. Now, if you switch it to one of the other default Angband fonts, that won't work very well because I've basically mashed this font together with sort of Frankensteined it together with the original Angband tile set, and I removed the other tile sets to reduce download size, and also because they wouldn't be compatible with the font changes I've made. So anyway, we'll see what that means once we get into into town, basically. So first you go through character select. This is just standard Angband stuff. I'm going to go back to, I was playing, I think I was last playing this like a year ago, and I was playing a Dwarf Warrior, and my save file would not work when I came back to this and was trying to put this version together. So I don't know what I did to it, but anyway, we're starting over with the Dwarf Warrior. I don't remember what the difference between point-based and standard roller is. I'm just taking the default, whatever that means. My stealth is bad. Okay. Oh, I have to modify stuff. Wait, do I? This is how I did it before. Left, right to... Oh, I can't raise it anymore. I can lower it. So it automatically spent my points for me on strength, dexterity, and constitution, not on intelligence, wisdom, and wisdom. That seems fine. Let's go ahead. I'm the only child of a dwarven priest. I'm a credit to the family. I have dark brown eyes, straight black hair, a 3-foot beard. Oh, sweet. And a dark complexion. I don't know, is 3 feet good for a dwarf? Does this tell me how tall I am? 3'11". I'm 3'11" with a 3-foot beard. That's pretty rad. I weigh 9 stone. Is that... Oh, 9 stone, 9 pounds. Wait, how many pounds are in a stone? How heavy... If I can spell heavy, is 1 stone. 1 stone is 14 pounds. So if you're 9 stone, that's 126 pounds plus 9 pounds. So I'm 135 pounds at 3'11". That's pretty solid. Dude, I probably... I'm just using my default name. So, this SDL2 front end does not do what the Windows front end does, which lets you load a character that you've created. So once you create a character with a name, they're saved in a subfolder in the lib directory. There's a lib, and then in there's a folder called user, and in there's a folder called save. And that's where you'll find a file just with the same name as what you enter here for the character. But to load that character back up in another session, you have to launch the game from a command line that has -u and then your character name tagged onto the end of the command line. So what I do is I right-click the angband.exe, make a Windows shortcut to it, right-click the shortcut, select Properties, and in the default tab on there's a field called Target with the command line showing the, with basically your path to the exe, and then after the exe you just type in space -u and then your character name into that shortcuts target field. And then once you've hit OK and confirm that and close the properties window, you can double click that shortcut and it'll launch the game, and it'll automatically, well, since you specified it, it'll load the character directly. So that's kind of what you got to do in order to load characters in this version. I guess I could have set up a batch file or something, but I didn't want to try to mess with that. So anyway, yes. With a peal of thunder, you enter town. Farmer Maggot. Oh no, Farmer Maggot's here already. Oh heck, I hate Farmer Maggot. How do I examine him? Okay, it's been a while since I played and I forgot some of the keyboard shortcuts. Farmer Maggot, he's lost his dogs. He's had his mushrooms stolen. He's not a happy hobbit. So I kept my lore file. My lore file from all my previous play, or most of it, is 200 kilobytes, and that still worked. So I know more about some of these creatures than I would have if I was just starting from scratch. He can clear webs. He can moan and moan. Those are his actions, as moaning. That's weird. So the lore file is another sort of part of the changes that I made, because this font, this Perfect DOS VGA 437 font does not support accent marks over characters, and some of the names are sort of in Tolkien style. Like, actually, there's a dwarf, there's enemy dwarves, the Duardane or whatever the heck they are, I think, who have one of the vowels has an accent mark over it in regular Angband, but that doesn't print correctly, and it comes out weird looking if you try to run it with this DOS VGA style font. So I had to edit out all the accent marks. And for me, that also involved editing my own lore file, since it came from before I was running with those edits to the other Angband source files, monster.txt and what's the one for artifact.txt or whatever. I had to take the accent marks out of those, and so my old lore file had compiled some of those accent marks from before I made the edits into it, and I had to wipe those out. So that's boring, but that's what I did. So yeah. So okay, so if you did try to set one of the other fonts, like I think the Angband default is something like this one, that won't work because of the changes that I made to what character graphics it displays for the walls and empty space and stuff. So they come out all with the wrong character. So I could have, well, no, I couldn't remove the other fonts because they're needed if you want to set up other display windows. Those would be useful fonts to have for other display windows. But for the actual map, you kind of need to use for this customized version of mine, you kind of need to use the VGA fonts. So that's pretty much the changes. Well, and then you see the tile set. So it's this weird combination of the tiles for characters and monsters. But when you set, this kind of just happened automatically when I was messing around with these originally. When you set the font, when you set the font, it overwrites parts of the tile set. So I found that I could sort of Frankenstein this font together with the character bitmaps from the original tile set that way. So I got my funky ASCII checkerboard walls, which I had, because I'd been messing around with the DOS versions of Angband. That's how I came to be tracking down that, or stumbling across that that undocumented DOS release on Harrison's site of DOS Angband 2.8.3, because I liked the way the DOS Angbands looked with these checkerboard walls and stuff. Is Maggot gonna? I'm not on your land, Maggot. I'm in town. You don't own town. Don't mess with me, farmer, or you're gonna regret it. So I think I've got food. I've got one scroll of Word of Recall. I should probably go get another, but I've only got 134 gold. Got a dagger, which is good because faster weapons are way better than heavier weapons because you get more attacks. And it just the math is kind of weird in this game. Speed is hugely important. I've got soft leather armor. I suppose I should buy another scroll of recall. I think I can afford one of those if I can get around Farmer Maggot. Stop moaning and groaning. I forget what the shops are. I always forget. I guess I could get a piece of... Wait, do I have any food? I got 3 rations. I could get a piece of armor or something, maybe. That's my home. Get off my porch, Farmer Maggot. No, so I compiled this with the SDL2 graphic front end and also with SDL2 sound support, so that's why you're hearing the Angband sound effects. Oh, I forgot something I have to set, though. Potions of Cure Light Wounds, scrolls. Okay, scroll of Word of Recall. I can just afford another one. I like to have a backup in case something happens to one. So let's see. Do I hit B first? What is it examining? I guess. No. Okay, wait. Dang it. So I guess I just hit T for the Word of Recall and then P for buy. Yes. Thanks, Mauser the chemist, half-elf. I forget if this current-ish version of Angband still changes the prices based on your... Oh no, there is no charisma score. I wonder if it does it based on your species compared to the shop owner. I don't think it does that anymore. Okay, so I got my second backup scroll of Word of Recall. I actually like to have like 4 of them because I am paranoid and also error prone. Okay, the other setting I need to set, which is not something that I could actually save in the .prf files that I bundled into this release on archive.org is setting the cheat options. Like, I don't know where it stores those. Probably in your character file, I guess. I mean, I don't know where else it would save them. Anyway, what I've devolved into doing is using the cheat for avoiding death, because I found out that I don't actually like dying in this roguelike. We're going to set death to yes, to that stick. Okay, so if I remember, or if I remember what I read in my notes about this, I think this means that when you would have otherwise died, being reduced to 0 hit points now with this cheat on, you're instead just sent back to town, I think is what happens. You wake up in town. Farmer Maggot's always bellyaching about his darn dogs who are just going to attack me in the dungeon. Okay, so we're going down to the first floor of the dungeon now. Why does my sprite change? It looks like I put my hood on or something. I never noticed that before. It changes there too, like what the heck is going on here? What the heck is that? Oh, giant yellow centipede. Probably asleep. It's funny how so many creatures in the dungeon are asleep when you come across them. And that looks like a mushroom, not 85 pieces of copper, so I don't know if I screwed that up or that's just how it goes in the... I don't think I messed with that. Anyway. Let's read one of them to find out what it does. Detect invisible. Oh, that's gray mold. What did it do to me? Oh, it just released spores. I guess they didn't do nothing. So, I thought I was done with this game because I felt I didn't want to be spending my playing time on the keyboard. I wanted to minimize my keyboarding time because I spend too much on the computer as it is, and I was having ergonomic issues and stuff. But, I don't know. The problem is there's nothing else quite like Angband. I've looked at other roguelikes or something that I could play on a gamepad. I tried playing Angband on a gamepad. That didn't really, I mean, I kind of do it, but it's just a pain. It takes away, I mean, part of the fun of these old roguelikes on keyboard is that you just feel like you have so much power because you have all these functions that are just like a key or two away. Once you sort of get the controls down, like if you list the controls, and I do have this defaulting to the roguelike key set, you can change that in the options to one that is the default for regular Angband, which is, I forget. Anyway, the roguelike one has kind of funky controls that date back to like terminal keyboards and stuff, and actually date back to, I think it was moving a cursor in like text editing programs on terminal keyboards. Anyway, who cares? So you've got all these commands. Once you sort of get most of those down, then you just feel like you have this amazing amount of control at your fingertips, and you don't really get that when you're trying to map them through a gamepad. At least I didn't. Probably if I'd used like Steam input and done like shift functions and could actually remember all that kind of stuff when I'm using a pad, maybe that could, I don't know. Giant yellow centipede. So yeah, I kind of missed Angband. I mean, like, you know, Demon Souls is kind of cool and all, although I've been realizing that with Demon Souls, which is the first Souls game, there's a lot of grinding in Demon Souls where you're just going back through the same dungeon area killing the same enemies over and over, or going back through over and over, and they all respawn, but it's the same enemies that you fought before. And that feels extremely grindy, whereas in Angband, because the levels re-randomize themselves, like if I go up to town and come back down to the first floor of the dungeon, it'll be a different floor, although you can change that in settings and have them stay so they don't re-randomize. But it's actually more fun if they do re-randomize, because then it doesn't feel grindy. Although actually in this game, if you set them to, like, where is that? It's probably under birth options. Yeah, persistent levels, which has been tagged as experimental for a long time, I think, just because they don't really want to officially support it, because that could be a pain, because it could kind of screw up balance and stuff. Because if the levels are persistent, then you can't go back through and grind for items or more experience, and that could make things kind of difficult. But the thing is, grinding in this game, when the levels do re-randomize, means that it doesn't really feel like grinding. It's just another adventure, except the difficulty isn't going up, so, you know, that works pretty well. Whereas when you're grinding in Demon Souls, I find myself, I didn't mind it for a while, but now there's a part where I think I do have to grind up my power levels a bit to beat this boss who is a little too strong for me, and I'm just not really looking forward to doing that. This rock lizard looks like a rock himself. I guess that's kind of clever. Hey, it's a torch. And I found a secret door. And I found gold pieces that still look like mushrooms, although they've always done that in this tile set as far as I remember, even before I messed with it, I think. I didn't actually rearrange the tile set or anything, I just changed the game files that refer to the tile set, but that wasn't for gold pieces, it was for, well, stuff like the walls and stuff that I wanted to show as the DOS style font characters instead of the tiles themselves. Now, I think if I toggle the tiles on and off, you'll see the tiles will actually overwrite the font settings. Like if I went to tiles and set it to none and then set it back to original tiles, it would show all the full tiles for the floors and walls. And then probably if I toggled the font, it would reset that back, but it might not, because that's not really what it's supposed to be doing anyway, so I'm not going to mess with it. So, you know, toggle the tiles at your own risk. Darn mushrooms, say a potion. Oh, I'm confused. Chartreuse potions, let's chug one. Q for quaff. Cure light wounds, those are handy, right? Yes, they are handy. Oh. There's just a round little room that I can't find a door. Oh, there it is. Hey. And a stairway down. Interesting. What are these? I forget how to examine specific. Oh, allows free selection. Oh. A magma vein. So this is what my ASCII is showing as a magma vein. Guess that's right, because I think in town there are ones that are red that are some other kind of magma something. Exto Oro. Let's read it. Oh, face door. Oh, it teleported me just across the room. Teleporting's a big deal in Angband. Can I dig with my dagger? It probably took a while. I got mushroom wall gold. I'm rich. Uh-oh. White worm mass. So like my lore file, which I've retained from previous runs, which is how the lore file works anyway, means that I know a bunch of different monsters already. I forget what level I got up to before. Somewhere around 50, maybe? Anyway, teleporting is a big deal because it's a pretty handy way for escaping when you're about to get worked. And there's different types of teleport. Phase door is, I think, the weakest. Or is it phase door? What's it called? Yeah. Doesn't teleport you very far. But it could be enough to save your bones. So I'm actually playing on this Microsoft, what is this called? Some kind of ergonomic keyboard. They don't sell it any. They discontinue it like, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. I have no idea, which sucks because I don't know what I'll do if this one breaks. Have to pay through a nose for one on eBay or something, maybe. Teleport trap, oh heck. I missed, my previous character had something that rendered them immune to traps, which is super handy. Anyway, it's a split keyboard, an ergonomic keyboard, so in the roguelike key set for Angband, there's the four main movement keys are on the H, J, K, and L keys, and then the diagonals are sort of around the H and J keys, but so the B key is moved down left, but on my keyboard, this keyboard splits the B key to the left hand, whereas all the other movement keys are on the right hand. So that's, just have to get used to that. When I want to move down left, I have to use my other hand. No, I kind of thought, oh, I can rearrange the movement keys and just like nudge them over one key on this and then have down left be N instead of B, and then it'll all be on my right hand. But that just led to a cascading series of complications with running into I think eventually I ran into there's a hard-coded terminal function on the colon or semicolon key or something like that, which is what I'd have to move them over to. I don't know. Anyway, it was ridiculous, and I just gave up. So that's the teleport trap. What is it? Disarm. Is that Shift D? No, I set off the rune. I think it is Shift D, and that's why I set it off, because I suck at disarming traps. Let's see. Yeah, Shift D, disarm trap. Lando Kamalek. Let's read it. Treasure detection. You can turn off the whole tasting and reading to learn stuff thing, so you wouldn't have to do that, but it's kind of fun. I'll quaff this light yellow potion. Wait a second, no I won't. What? Oh, I didn't pick it up. Now do it. Feel like a hero, because eventually, of course, you can get a potion that kills you or something, I think, and it becomes too dangerous, so you want to sell them back in town. Now, since I've turned off, I got lucky, I was confused, but it attacked the right direction. You would sell them in town, and then the shopkeepers would identify them for you, and then if it was something hugely desirable, you'd have to pay them to get it back. Since I've turned off permadeath, I think, then maybe I'll just keep on sipping all the potions. I don't know. I kill all these poor things in their sleep. I'm level 3. I didn't even notice when I went up to level 2. Should I go after that treasure? Sleeping giant white caterpillar. Killed it in its sleep. Uh-oh, this guy's not asleep. Oh, it's a rock lizard. Why was that other one gray? This original tile set, oh yeah, you can't, digging takes forever. You can't do it when anything else is around because it won't speed up time enough. I done forgot what I was babbling about. Oh yeah, this original tile set, like, pretty weird resolution, and some of the sprites are kind of funky, but a little white icky thing. Quaff that. Uh-oh. I put myself to sleep while there's an enemy in the way. So some of the enemies don't have a sprite, and I'm not sure why that is. You know, they're just using Angband ASCII letters. Like if you look at my monster knowledge, like Father Christmas isn't, well, that makes sense. That's just a goofy character, but some characters, a redhead, oh, that's another goofy character. But a green elf archer does not have a sprite assigned. I don't know if maybe those, I guess those are probably characters that came along after the tile set was made. And nobody is, you know, the original author isn't around to update it. There's a witch who's just a letter. So I don't know, maybe floating eyes were made after the original tile set. And I suppose if I really wanted to get into this whole customizing Angband thing, at some point I would redo the tile set, or try to, but I probably couldn't do it as good as this. And it would take me forever, I'm sure. So I probably won't do that, ever. But I ended up using this tile set because some of the other tile sets, while they looked better, there were some problems with them. Like the best looking one is just kind of blurry. And there was another one I liked, but that had problems. Or maybe it was just the aspect ratio wasn't right for a VGA font anyway. Because it was, I think it was square, perfectly square. Stupid confused mushroom spores. I thought that might have been one of Farmer Maggot's dogs. Giant white, oh, look at these little white mouse sprites. Big orange tails on these white mouse. What the heck is that? No, wait. Why does that giant white mouse look different? Oh, that was weird. Is that because it was in the dark? Oops, gotta hit B. There we go. And I failed again. Like I like to actual Angband players who know what they're doing make fun of me for how slow I go through this game, but I mean, for me, this is kind of like a make your own story game, and I just like to, you know, I'm just having an adventure in my head. So that's basically what I use it for. So to me, it's not a game where you're rushing through. I mean, there was somebody on the Angband forum like a year ago, maybe they're still going. The Angband forum moved, which I had forgotten about. It's now hosted by the same site that hosts the thing where you can play all these Angband variants online. But I think that's based in Europe, and so it's kind of laggy to play it from the States, is what I found. But you know, this person had gotten good enough at at speed running the game that they could clear Angband in, was it under 2 hours? Whereas it would, I mean, I've never even gotten past floor 50 or whatever it was, but, so I have no idea how long it would take me, but you're talking at least like 80 hours probably, because I just mess around. I don't care. I'm just here to mess around. I'm not here. It's all about the journey as far as I'm concerned. My hair changes color in this doorway. So if you're here looking for a fast playthrough and you're at the wrong spot, I can't remember the name of the person who was doing those speedruns. They're probably on YouTube. If you go and look up the Angband forum, you can probably find the thread about them. A viscous pink potion of neutralized poison. Wait, what the heck is that? Oh, it's a shield. It looks like a coin. Whereas coins look like mushrooms. I guess I should wield this wicker shield. Sweet. Wait, I think now if something is cursed, it tells you there's an enchantment, right? So that couldn't have been cursed, I think. Oh, how do I center the display on myself? Oh, I think it's just like shift at, yeah. At, there we go. Another sort of drawback of this this customization I've done is that the map looks kind of weird. But I guess it's not too bad. Although, where? So I'm that whitish block in the middle, kind of slightly below middle. It's not really easy to see. Oh, well, wait, what, isn't there a command to pan the map around? How do you do that? Not alter grid. Shoot. It's called something weird, so that's, I think, why I've overlooked it. It's not like... Was it like Control X? Oh no, that's save. Ah, I quit. Oops. That was smart. Hopefully this doesn't interrupt the actual video. So I'm running from a shortcut which will reload my character because I have that dash U, or yeah, space dash U, and then my character name in the target field. So don't hit Control X unless you do want to save and quit. What the heck is the pan? Oh. I need to know what this is. Doesn't sound like anything on here. Actually, this is a handy way to see what keys aren't mapped to anything. I never really thought of that. If you're messing around with macros or trying to change the key assignments, which is a lot more difficult than it should be in Angband. It's not look around. It's not center map. Oh, I didn't think to look up what the version info says. I could have customized that, I think. I didn't think of that. Oh, it's not locate player on map, is it? What does it say for version? 425, that's close enough. Oh yeah, it is Shift W. So if you hit Shift W, and then you can use the direction keys to pan the map around. So I'm looking for areas that I haven't fully explored, which you can't really, like up there in the upper northeast, yeah. Which you can't really see from the map display. And there's two things to the west. Let's go that way. Oops. Oops. Hi. I was trying to remember the center map on my self command, which is the @ sign. But then I ended up not doing it. Quaff that yellow potion. If it's yellow, drink it down. Boldness. I boldly drank a potion of boldness. Or maybe you could say foolishly. So these were detected by my detection spell, I think. Yeah, it's treasure. I'm not going to use a sling. Get me a bow. Or a crossbow, I guess. Potions of boldness. I forget what that does. I suppose if I look at these... Cures fear. Okay. Oh, an apple looks like a red comma. What is my... Oh, this doesn't... Wait, what shows hunger? Oh, there it is down at the bottom in green, fed 70%. So I'll eat this apple with E now. Shift E. That gave me 10% fed. Oh boy, here's some dogs. Pack of dogs. Small kobold. I love the sprite for kobolds. Well, this dog ain't asleep, but the other ones are. That one ain't. And a snake. That's a lot of dudes. Are they going to come after me? Come on, guys. Just come into this little killing tunnel here. Oh, I should use the period key to wait for them to come to me. Killed the kobold. Killing dogs. Getting torches. Like, one thing I would like to see worked on for Angband would be making the AI do different stuff, because the AI is pretty one note for the most part in this game. I mean, there's lots of different monster types, but they all kind of do the same fairly basic stuff. At least the ones I've seen. Okay, so that's it for there. Oh, my clumsy navigation. What the heck was that? Oh, I hit another teleport trap? No. I don't know what that was. I forget what that was. White icky thing. So that was Shift W. Okay, so I guess that's it for this area, this floor. And I could just go back up to the town, but then I would have to come down to and go through another floor 1, which I don't really want to do. That seems a little too pissy. That's grindy, you know. Well, but it wouldn't be that grindy, but I don't want to do that. So I'll just portal back to town when I need to. I still got tons of inventory space, so don't need to go back to town, although I probably should go back and buy some armor and stuff. Acolytes. Those are big cloaks on those acolytes. Freaking cut purses. Like, I should really get a bow or something. I don't think he stole anything from me, did he? So, I'm not going to chase him. I already got a dagger 1d4, don't I? Sure do. I think in this, by default, selling is off, right? Yeah, increase gold drops but disable selling. So you can't sell stuff, so there's no point in lugging around a ton of stuff to sell in town because it just donates it to the shop for free. It does identify it for you when you do that, but you don't get any gold for it. But yeah, I think the reason they made that change at some point was so that people didn't feel like they had to keep lugging tons of equipment, heavy equipment back to town to sell. Because that was literally a drag. Another 1d4. Oh, maybe that guy picked up that other dagger. That's a big pack of dogs. Just charge right in. These dogs are kind of boring. Oh, they were guarding some pebbles. The pack's precious pebble collection. Dang it, now I got one unexplored corner up here that I should have gone down. There you go. Where did you come from? I thought that was like an archdeacon or something. Kind of in that same white, big white, weird outfit theme. But no, it was a heartbeat. Ah, I'm friggin' confused. So wait, what is it? Rest until it'll wear off. There you go. Oh wait, there was another mushroom. Ah, down staircase. Is this where? Why was there gold that just appeared there? Was it? Did that thief drop it there? That can't be right. It must have just been there all along. It's funny how the background of my sprite goes gray, and I think of the monsters when they're on top of another thing. I didn't really notice that before. And then that happens. Oh. Sleep gas trap. Did that put me to sleep? Yeah, it sure did. What if I try to disarm it? No. I did it. I disarmed a trap after setting it off twice. Uh-oh. What is it? Is it something invisible, or is it... oh, yeah, Shrieker Mushroom Patch. Are those like shout lines above it? I guess that's what that is. That's funny. So I guess I'm not remembering these sprites for some of these monsters, but maybe that's because I wasn't using the tile set when I was playing through like 4.2 before. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. A spiked pit. Can I disarm a pit? Nope. I fell into it. Oh, I got tons of hit points. Let's try it again. No. Oh, I did it. Okay. I mean, yeah, to me, this game is just it's a fun, do it at your own pace adventure, and my pace is pretty slow and silly. But there's nothing really that does what Angband does, even other roguelikes. Oh yeah, let's wear those. Sweet, make a steely sound when I put on my leather sandals. Ah, I slew the apprentice and graduated to level 5. Ouch! He was standing on a flame trap? Was that his thesis statement? Shall I dance into the fire? Wait. Shift D. I did it! The discolored spot. More acolytes. Hey, you guys want to graduate? Graduate to being dead and trying to cast spells and trying to flee. And they were terrified, and I bashed him with my shield and killed the poor guy. I woke him up from their student slumber and just murdered him. That feels bad. But, you know, that's what you do in this game. At least you're an equal opportunity murderer. Like, it's not like you're just killing things that back in old fiction might have been, you may paranoidly think that maybe they were just stand-ins for other ethnicities or something, you know. Kind of fantasies, kind of a, like even Tolkien fantasies, kind of a, what? Uh-oh. Okay, he blanked himself. Oh, is that the same guy? That would be funny. Well, he's dead. Who's this guy? Cut person. Uh-oh. Don't steal my junk. Okay. And when I say other ethnicities, I mean non-white ethnicities, because of course all the writers of fiction were, or fantasy were, that have come down to us pretty much were white people, mostly white dudes, of course. That's just how that stuff went. Give me them mushroom coins. I love that creaky door sound. Like, the monster sounds are super goofy. Some of the other sounds work pretty well. Whoa. That was a weird sound. I was holding control. All the different door slamming sounds. Awesome. And you don't have to search for secret doors anymore. That's handled automatically. Like when I was going through all the DOS versions of Angband, there's a lot of stuff that you take for granted in modern Angband that you had to do manually. Already got leather sandals. So maybe the biggest thing was that and actually I spent a little time modifying wait, what's the precursor to Angband? Is it Emoria? Wait, why am I not remembering this? Oh, my bad memory. Let me see here. Not rogue. Emoria, yeah, that was it. Modifying Emoria to incorporate some things that are nice modern conveniences in Angband. And I could do a lot of the stuff like automatically trying to pick locks when you bump into doors and opening doors when you bump into doors and that kind of stuff. But then there was the real thing that I couldn't emulate, that I couldn't bring, because I liked like the DOS look of, you know, DOS Angbands and the old Emoria and stuff. What I couldn't far exceeded my hacking of code ability was, let's see, it's is this kind of thing where modern Angband tells you your damage per round based on its damage calculations and stuff for weapons, which is super handy. Before this, I forget what version this kind of stuff came along, but before, I think it was after the DOS Angbands. Oh, it must have been. So before this, you just had to like guess at it from looking at how much damage you were doing to monsters, and that becomes a big, because you would also have to take into account how much time, how many turns or rounds or whatever the heck they're called are passing, and it's nobody's cup of tea. Giant green frog, that's a giant sprite. You are slaying giant green frog because I'm just coming into people's homes and killing them, mostly brutally in their sleep. Yeah, fantasy is it's not super, not very nice, you know. Not old fantasy. But you can't really do this stuff anymore. You couldn't make a game like Angband anymore if you were determined not to be a horrible, murderous encourager of horrible, murderous characters, right? Like, you could have like zombies. You can kill zombies. That's fine. Well, actually, no. I mean, you probably humanize zombies these days, but you gotta know what you do for modern fantasy. It's rough. Just have to make everything some kind of evil, like out and out evil, unquestionably evil thing or something. Or you don't worry about it, and you do the fantasies now where everybody's sort of emotionally damaged and stuff. I guess that's another way to take it. I don't really enjoy that sort of thing, though. I guess probably just because I'm old, but it's too complicated, you know. I just want to bash things, so that's the kind of simple moron I am. Just a little flock of sleeping cave spiders that I'm gonna have to go murder. I mean, I don't have to, but I am going to, because that's how you level up, and that's what you gotta do. The game told me to do it, or it strongly encouraged it by its mechanics. I don't want to talk to these spiders or anything. I don't want to make friends with the spiders. I mean, there are other games where you can do that. I just want to kill everything. I mean, hopefully it makes me not want to do that in real life because I've done it in a game. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Angband players on forums mostly seem really chill. I don't think this game isn't causing anybody to think that killing is the solution in life. Oh, let's see if I can do this pit. Oops, that's not it. Or is it? No. D. I guess it was. Oh, because there's doors around me, so it wanted me to pick a direction because the doors could have. I don't know. Sure got scrolls of blessings. I don't even remember what bless does, and I don't think. I think if you look at like a scroll of blessing, it just says. Oh no, it does tell you. I've maligned the game incorrectly. When read, it extends your AC and 2 hit bonuses for. It used to be, at least for some things, you would go and read the description. It would say like, casts bless on you or something. You're like, yeah, but I need to know what bless does, and you can find it in the interface. I just killed a bunch of stuff and I didn't even look to see what it was. That's just the cold killer. I've got, oh man, a pewter amulet, this magic. Carry this around. Maybe I can figure it out after a while. That's how it works now. But I'll probably have to buy it. Wait, are there identification scrolls anymore? Now I forget. I don't think there are. Maybe there aren't. That's right. Like if you do want to... I got poison. I'm more poison. Uh-oh. Oh, I can probably just sleep it off, right? Yeah, it's gone. I think you just give it to a shop and they ID it for you, then you buy it back. Oh, wait. Did my torch just run out? What's going on? I guess my torch did go out. Or have I not been carrying a torch all this time? Yeah, maybe I haven't been carrying a torch. Okay, well, we got down to floor 2 and I finally found an area that did not have a light source. Scared me there. I always forget about that. I mean, yeah, I do always forget about that. You have to wield the torch that you start with. And then you don't want to wield it in town, really, because that's wasting the torch, etc. Man, I love Angband. Like, it's so bizarre looking through, like, roguelike games on Steam and stuff. It's just, like, why can't they just do a game like this with gamepad control? But I suppose a big part of the appeal, like I was mumbling about before, is that you've got all these keyboard keys at your fingertips. Metallic green centipede, heck. But, oh, there's a centipede category. I was thinking, what would that be under? It's under the centipede category. Oh, that's only the second I've ever killed, according to my lore file. 4 feet long and carnivorous. Oh yeah, they're level 2. I love these ASCII checkerboard walls. That's basically why I started messing around with this DOS font Frankensteining thing. Well, actually, I hadn't even thought of it. I think it was just accidentally that I enabled the tile set once, and it gave me tiles for the characters, but not for the walls, or I went back to the DOS font, and then it overwrote the walls, but not the... Anyway, I was like, whoa, well, that's cool, so I can have character sprites and ASCII walls without having to do a whole lot of manual editing. I had to do a little... Hey, you friggin' cut purse. Oh, no. Oh, 218 coins were stolen. Now I gotta find this jerk. He was probably like the last guy in the dungeon. Oh, I do have like 2,000 coins. Maybe I should, should I feel generous and just... No, I'm gonna find him. No, I'm not gonna find him, am I? I have no idea where he went. Oh, 200 coins. Well, he didn't go that way. I mean, he could have gone anywhere. Well, wait, he teleports, so he could have gone anywhere. I'm never going to find him. If I do, he'll probably just steal more coins and teleport again. Shoot. The last guy's got to be a friggin' cutpurse who finally teleports. The other ones didn't. Oh, actually, I don't think the other ones even pickpocketed me. But maybe they did, and I didn't notice the message. Now, of course, the real way to play Angband if you're a power player is to have multiple sub-windows set up showing you monster readouts and inventory readouts and stuff. But and I did that for a while, but I just have more fun doing it. Just one big old DOS-style font window thing. And then wasting a lot of time panning around and opening inventories and manually examining individual monsters. Because, like I said, I'm in a hurry. Speaking of hurry, though, I probably should. I got 10 more minutes. Floor 3 of my mighty new adventure. Uh-oh, there's Grip, Farmer Maggot's dog. So, a vicious dog belonging to Farmer Maggot. Well, it says rather vicious. Rather vicious dog belonging to Farmer Maggot. It thinks you are stealing mushrooms. Why would it think that? We're not near your mushroom farm or whatever. These dogs are messed up. This natural creature is normally found at depths of 100 feet, level 2. So it's got a 4 lower and moves a bit erratically and quickly. It has a life rating of 20. So, I mean, it's going to attack me. It's not evil, per se. It would tell me if it was evil, but it's just naturally vicious. And then the farmer will moan about his dead dog or what. I don't know. It's this kind of annoying tinge to the early part of the game where, like, you can't really, there's no good outcome here. The dogs are just going to keep attacking you. Eventually the farmer, I think, starts attacking you because he suspects you killed his dogs. I don't know. Eventually you just got to kill them all. You're like, well, dang. So anyway, I'm going to kill Grip. Ouch. I slew Grip, Farmer Maggot's dog. He made a weird sound when I did it. Uh-oh. Gas of scintillating colors. Can I disarm a trap even though I'm confused? No, I'm more confused. Wait. Giant black ant. Dang it. Oh, this is inconvenient. What is that? Oh, it's a sling. I'm still confused. This sucks. I'm confusing my way away. Arrgh. Okay, I got the ant. Okay, let's rest. Try to disarm. Nope. I can do it. I don't think disarming this trap actually, like, makes me better at disarming traps, but whatever. I think you might get, like, 1 XP for doing that. I should have been paying attention. I'm only 6 XP away from leveling up. Hello, level 6. Non-hurt soldier. Oh, I only got 2 XP for killing the soldier. Oh, no. Ah, poor soldier. I killed you for a whopping 2 XP. Scrolls of light. Murdering more acolytes. Too bad he ran into other acolytes who weren't trying to run yet. I'm terrified, but if I quaff a potion of boldness... Whoops, it's not 5, it's G. I'm bolder now. You guys could use some of these. Level 7. I slew the apprentice. Holy book of prayers. Now, let's see. There's a thing I want to do here. How do I do this? Art displays details. That's not it. What if Shift I? No. I know. Control I? No. How do you ignore things? Do I have to pick it up? And then Shift O will toggle ignore on off. I have to pick it up. Get inventory. Look at this thing. Shift D for ignore. All holy books of prayers. And then you automatically like drop it on the ground and forget about it. But if you do Shift O to toggle the ignore off, then you can see it there. Because I'm never going to use a prayer book because I'm a warrior, so I should probably also ignore pebbles. Let's do it. When I quiver, how do I, oh, you have to hit pipe or quiver. 0. Ignore pebbles. I could go ignore that sling while I'm at it. I'm on this ignoring romp. T. Ignore. All average slings. Super duper. Oh man, this is really mazy. One thing that it seemed to me like Angband could also use would be like kind of just more options, meaningful options to have in the mid game, at least like to do and things to do in combat. I mean, I guess there's all kinds of potions and scrolls, but I just didn't find any of them. But that's not true. Almost none of them were useful enough things to be like, yeah, I'll save this potion or scroll to use before I get into a tough fight. Like there's only a few, like speed or whatever it's called, haste maybe, that are actually that useful. But if there were just more things to do, and I mean, I guess there all are kinds of things like you can confuse enemies and all this stuff, but it's all kind of, it always seems like more trouble than it's worth for the most part. Like if more creatures had specific weaknesses to things and just basically more interaction stuff, more interaction possibilities, meaningful interaction and combat possibilities would be cool, you know? That's definitely an area in which Angband could stand to have more variety. There's plenty of stuff, it's just like have the stuff interact in more unique ways with other things and creatures that are already in the game as well. But, I mean, now that I've released my own customization of the game, I suppose that would take learning how all that stuff works in code, which I probably not going to be able to do. Quaff that teal potion. My eyes feel very sensitive. But I'm making excuses. I wouldn't want to take the time to do it either because I'm lazy. I hit the poltergeist. I destroyed the poltergeist. Did I? I don't know if I really encountered that many poltergeists before. Would those be classified under undead? Ghosts. Ghosts? No. Oh wait, no, there it is right there. Well, that's the first poltergeist I killed. At least on this lore file. Well, I'll be danged. Very quickly. I still don't know anything about its attack. These icky things have weird sprites on. My eyes are feeling sensitive. Well, that's just like real life. Speaking of real life, I should knock off and get ready for bed. Okay, that's a good spot. So, I still don't really need to go back to town, I don't think. Like, what is my encumbrance? This is always confusing. I forget how this goes. My burden is 70. My overweight is minus 97. I think that means I can carry 97 more pounds and stuff. Like, what if I drop... I need to drop some weight just to test this. So wait, minus 97.3. If I drop 8 potions of sleep, so that's the thing I could be using. I could throw it at creatures to put them to sleep, but then if I attack them, they just wake back up. So again, not really worth the bother. If I drop all, shift A, now my burden is minus 100. So yeah, that I have 97 more pounds that I can carry, so I don't need to go back down on that account. I am probably running low on carry slots in my inventory display, but like I don't really need these scrolls of blessing exactly. Thought I was wielding the wicker shield. I am, but it still shows up in my inventory. Oh. But the sandals don't show up in my inventory? Do I have 2 wicker shields? Wait. Oh yeah, there's a better wicker shield sitting in my inventory. Oh heck. How did I miss that? Okay, drop the other one. Well, brilliant. Potions of heroism, I don't really remember what those do. Heals 10 hit points, cures fear, and extends heroism. Okay. So that's better than boldness. Boldness just cures fear, right? Potions of berserk strength, 30 hit point healing, cures fear, extends berserk. I mean, these are all like pretty redundant, and I never really use it much. Although berserk strength actually is kind of interesting because it doesn't tell you what berserk rage does, but I think you do more damage. I think you get like a strength boost or something. I don't really need to be carrying around these flasks of oil since I don't have a lantern yet. Probably not worth carrying them around until then, because you can just buy more in town. So anyway, so yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for now. Anyway, Angband, I guess I still like just goofing around with this game. We'll see how my body copes with like my shoulder's a little sore, but I actually did that to myself leaning on my drawing board for a drawing session a couple days ago, I think is what that was, and maybe playing a fighting game before this on my arcade stick. I don't know, my crusty old body, but so I don't know how often I'll play it, but yeah, it's still fun. So again, this is a customized version of the game that I put together with these weird display options in this front end, which isn't used much as far as I know, but is nice and slick, I think. And that is up on archive.org. I'll have the link in the description under the video, archive.org/ the heck is it? I don't know. If I quit and restart, it would show on the splash screen, but archive.org/details/ASCBand, which is ASCBAND. It's like a 13.2 megabyte download. Also, the source files are there, instructions on compiling it in Windows with MSys2. Description, a little more detail of the modifications I made, and so forth. Angband, of course, is being constantly updated and improved. This is a slightly old code base. It's about a year old, the code here. Angband itself, of course, is what, like 20 years old? Or wait, no, it's got to be more than that. Oh my gosh, I don't remember how old Angband is. Angband, that's not what I want. Just take me to Wikipedia. Yeah, okay. How old is Angband? Angband video game, 1990. Oh, that's not quite as old as I was thinking, maybe. But that is 34 years old. Well, the first initial release wasn't until 1993. Of course, before that there was Euphoria. Gotta be a link here to Euphoria, right? Yeah. Euphoria, which came from 1983. There you go. 83 for Euphoria. Of course, Euphoria was based on Rogue itself, and that was a Rogue game. That was 1980. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway. So yeah, this is my own customization. You can get it at that archive.org address. You can get actual Angband at refile.org. That's REPHIAL.org. I'll have links to that. I'll have, maybe, I guess I'll link to Harrison, the previous maintainer of the game, his site, which used to be, well, I guess it was file.org, but now it's moved to file.com, and he's still got a bunch of funky files and tucked away in weird directories on that site. You can explore all that stuff. If you wanted to. I mean, I don't know. I was just looking for old DOS versions of Angband or something at the time. Yeah, well. Anywho, I got my dwarf up to level 7. So that's exciting, and I didn't even die. And I have the cheat on, so if I did die, it wouldn't be permadeath, because I can't handle that. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go now. Thanks for watching. I do have lots of previous videos of me playing various versions of Angband. I have a lot of stuff on DOS Angbands, and I did this whole, like, extremely long sort of report on DOS versions of Angband. Also, I have played other roguelikes and muds in this playlist, which you'll find linked in the description. And I'm going to stop babbling now. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.